Ve'ahavta l'orecha kamocha, the Rambam says. All these different types of chasadim, it's all included in Ve'ahavta l'orecha kamocha. But each one is a mitzvah by each one is a mitzvah by itself, midrabanan. That's what the Rambam says. Here you see the same thing, that each thing is a midah of Hashem. The Gemara talks about halech achar midosav. You should go after his midas. And the Gemara, instead of making a general union of chesed out of it, on each thing the Gemara brings up posuk that's the midos of Shalai Kodesh Baruch Hu. It could be that in each, even though there's a general union of chesed, there is one general union of doing chesed, but each chesed that you do is a different type of chesed, a different feeling, a different. Sometimes you can find a person that can do tremendous chesed, but small things that he can't. Small things to give the other person a makom, to give him a makom. I don't mean a makom, a physical makom.
Can you specify a little bit, Rabbi?
Let's say, for example, not to let somebody talk till the end, to break in the middle of the. We're all nichshanit. I'm nichshanit, and you and others. No, you not. Okay, but me. So let's say somebody is talking and he's really feeling a need to express himself, and somebody else comes and says, especially there's two levels. The worst level is that somebody hears in the middle of his talking, he hears a word about something. He says, "Oh yeah, I know something about that," and goes off the subject altogether. And then there's a better madrega that he just in the middle. He breaks in and he says what he thinks on this. But the other person is. So
I think there's two names for this. One is a golem and one is an Aries.
That's what you know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What? What's a golem?
Like I
That's
just said.
the general one.
Yeah.
No, golem is the cloud and Aries is the prat.
Okay.
Maybe you could say it that way. Does everybody know what he just said? Does everybody? Aries is the name of the first mazel. It's called in Hebrew Tuleh, and it's the okay. Anyway, I don't want to talk about too much because maybe somebody here is that. So maybe you're a little better. So I'm saying like this. So what's the? So the Indian is like this. It's pashut a chesed to somebody to let the person finish talking. Not just, I don't mean derech eretz, I mean chesed, that he feels a need to talk. So the chesed is to give him a mokum to talk. So I'm saying that's a sug of chesed. You have to be a certain type of person that's able to do that. And it could be that somebody is able to give a nedova of $1 million, a nedova he could give, but this he can't do. So what's so hard? Just keep quiet another few minutes. What's the big thing? $1 million you could give, and that's it. There, it can be such a thing. So I'm saying, so what do you see? What do you see from here? That chesed is not just one general klal of chesed. There's pratim. Each thing it's a different argosha. It's kilo like this, that if you give $1 million, there's one kind of feeling of giving. And when you let a person talk, it's another feeling of giving. A whole different type of feeling altogether. Kilo, when you give $1 million, it's me, I'm the big notion. It doesn't have to be that way. You could stay on of it. But he's the notion. He's a notion. He makes him a notion. But when he moves, it's kilo. He moves to the side and he lets the other person talk. So what are you? You're moving to the side. So in these few minutes, you're nobody. You're not the big Adam Gadol that you are, the big Mandomar that you are. So for these few minutes, you're not. So it's all there is to it is being a knot for a few minutes. That's a different thing altogether. It's a whole different feeling. So I'm saying that's why the Gemara had to make each thing, the Gemara had to spell out each thing. There's a chesed of Bikur Cholim, which is one kind of Argosha. And there's a chesed of Nichum Avelim. In fact, Nichum Avelim is taka an Indian of letting the other one talk. I mean, the Gemara says they're not allowed to talk before the oval starts talking. So, sometimes, I mean, so that's maybe a little bit this kind of thing I'm talking about. What?
Yeah, we're talking about the first, in the contemplative stage, in the first 3 days.
In the first 3 days, could be. So and then there's Bikur Cholim. The truth is that Bikur Cholim, the real word, the word Bikur, doesn't really mean visiting. I think I have to look it up. We have a book. I have a book that Yeshua lent me. That it's a book of like 50 pages, and it has lists and lists of words that are used in modern Hebrew in a certain way, and in the real meaning, it means something not exactly that. It's something similar, but not. It's amazing that there's so much we don't know. So the word bikur really means bikur memumim. There's a Gemara that calls that 4 days you have to be mevaker, the carbon atomic. 4 days you have to do bikur. What does that mean? To check it. To check. So bikur cholim means to check, to take interest in the needs of the cholim. It could be his needs are to have company also, so it's also a need. But the word bikur actually means to check into the needs.
Or like the case of Rabbi Akiva,
Right.
where he
right.
went in and the main thing was to sweep out the dira.
Right. Yeah, you see. Right. It says over there, kibet v'ribeitz lefon of the Gemara. It says Rabbi Akiva went to visit the Chai, he saw it was dirty, so he cleaned up. He swept up.
And that brought him life.
Brought him life.
You're in a disorganized place is, I don't want to say, the opposite of life.
Yeah, I know somebody that he does such a chesed. He goes once a week to somebody's house and he sweeps up. I think you're the one. No, shouldn't be Megala. So that's actually, so it's a different thing than nichma. That's what I'm saying. It's not the same. The Tatzad HaShavah Shaban is that they're both doing for somebody else, but it's in a different way, and it's a different feeling. Nichum Avayim is to let him talk. Bikur Cholim is to take interest in his needs, and so on. And Kuras Mesim is all different thing. It's taking the body. That's why on each chesed the Gemara brings a separate posuk. I think you could say that. Weiter. Yeah. So that's how there's another thing in Nichum Avelim.
So if a person goes to a psychologist, some kind of psychologist person who listens to him,
Yeah.
but he has to pay him.
Yeah.
So is that considered?
So,
It's the same
How
process?
can I answer this question?
yeah, answer.
We have a call from Rebbe V'Mori Asadik Rav Avigdor Miller. He's like this. 2 people are in a makolet. They're the same person. And one guy, every new Lebanese he thinks another 2 shekels. And the other one, his friend, every time he gives a Leban, he thinks, I'm just like Hashem. Poseis Yadecha must be like Karatzon. Zela Gan Eden, Zela the other place.
I mean, he's saying that he can sell. He's selling the food, but if you have a man, you're doing chesed. So you have that mitzvah. You have also a mitzvah, and also you make money. You can have both. You can have both worlds. Actually, I remember that in the Mishnah Berurah in the Bir Halacha talks about if somebody writes tefillin and mezuzah. There's a Gemara that says he's called osik b'mitzvah. Somebody writes parshas of tefillin or mezuzah. He's called the osik b'mitzvah, and he's potter min ha-mitzvah. But he talks about his potter from charisma and tefillah. The Mishnah Berurah, the Bir Halacha talks about if he does it for money, is he also potter? Remember that? No. So So I think he comes out that he's still potter min ha-mitzvah.
Oh, das macht das Rav Avigdor Miller.
I have to look it up again.
Say
I
this on
think
the
that's
record.
what- yeah. Okay. But I don't know if you don't have kavanah l'shem mitzvah, maybe it is a problem. But,
Definitely.
Yeah. That means you're writing the tefillin. How's over there you could think about the money? I mean, but you're supposed to think about being mezakeh yidden, to be mekayim, the mitzvah of tefillin. That's what you're supposed to think about. Okay. See a few more lines. Kostner Zor Rav Shmuel. It says that Hashem put on them Kostner Zor, clothing of leather. Rav Shmuel Adam Ador Abomin or something that comes from leather. So Rashi says Siltzemeru. That means it was wool. It means, so why is it called Kostner Zor? It comes from the ore. It comes from the ore of the animal. It grows on the ore, on the skin. Chadam Adov Sha'or is nene mimena. So Rashi says, or is nene mimena. That Kostner's or Kostner's on top of the or of the person. Kostner's or goes on the person. What does that mean? Shall Pishta. Pishta, a person is more nene. Because it says here that person is more nene, enjoys more clothing from Pishta than from Tzemer. I don't know why.
Maybe in the summer and the winter.
Yeah, maybe, but you see, it doesn't say such a thing.
No.
Dorish Rab Simloi, Torah, Tchilosog, Milos Chasodim, Besofog, Milos Chasodim. Tchilosog, the Torah starts with Chesed, Tchilosog, Milos Chasodim, Nechsiv Hashem, Nekim Lod, Mishta Kosnor, Ve'al Bishem, Hashem made clothing for a person. That's Chesed Hashem did with Adam and Ishta. Sofog, Milos Chasodim, Nechsiv Moshe Bagai. Hashem buried Moshe. Interesting thing you see here. The Torah starts with Adam HaRishon. The story of the Torah starts with Adam HaRishon. And it ends with Moshe Rabbeinu, because it had to be that way. Yeah, it had to be that way, because the Torah starts with Adam HaRishon in the beginning of the world. Moshe Rabbeinu, he's he gave the Torah, and once he finished, so that's the end of the Torah. The rest is already Kiyum HaTorah, the Nevi'im and Ksuvim. But the Torah itself is only what Moshe Rabbeinu what was doing in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu. So it had to finish. So l'chora, you might think without the Gemara that the Torah is Tchilah. The beginning there's Adam Rishon and there's Moshe, and in Adam Rishon's story there's a story of Chesed, and in Moshe Rabbeinu's story there's a story of Chesed. So that's why. So it just came out that way. That Tchilas Gemilas Chasadim B'Sofa Gemilas, because since the people that the Torah started with and ended with had an inyan of Chesed that in their life story, so it goes together with it. The Gemara says no. The Gemara says no. It comes to show us that Torah is the beginning is Chesed and the end is the Torah is surrounded with Chesed. And you see from here that there's nothing that's for nothing. It just happened that way. Is that no such thing?